Hey guys, it's me, Ryan. Now tonight's the night that I'm actually going to watch episode 1 of Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup, the show that involved my life. I've never watched it in full. I'm kind of excited, really kind of nervous also. Don't know what to expect, but I've told people I've got to rip that Band-Aid off. I've got to look at the wound and just dig in it. Like, I know it probably might not be healthy, but it could be very therapeutic for me.
Is Ryan Anderson still using his previous marriage to Gypsy Rose Blanchard for clout? Absolutely. He's charging $9.99 for this event. And notice how he says, I haven't watched the full thing. That is interesting verbiage since people were calling him out saying that he has actually watched the show. So he's going to watch Life After Lockup and react. So he wants to use Gypsy like Gypsy's using Nick Godejohn to try to sell books. Ryan is trying to say this is going to be therapeutic for him. And I disagree, because if I had an ex-husband do to me what Gypsy did to him, I would never say their name again. I would never, ever. Gypsy Rose made a fool out of Ryan Anderson for the entire world to see, so much so that people felt bad for him and he developed a following from it. And we know there's been lots of drama in the little Ryan supporter circle, especially with the Katie Cakes thing, because she was one of those Ryan supporters. And then, I guess if you want to call it dating, we'll say she started dating him and he dumped her. Now, this was after this woman flew to him. They spent a weekend together in person, engaged in coitus, which I don't necessarily believe that they got it on. And then she was sent home with a consolation prize of a suitcase. And then Ryan did not want to see her anymore. And I fully understand why. The way that she speaks to people, she has the most condescending tone I have ever heard in my life. And I know this because after Ryan dumped her, she proceeded to go on a press panel live tour and bash him like a scorned ex-lover. She went to any creator that would have her, including Becca Scoops. But none of this compares to what Gypsy did to him. Gypsy left him to go get back with Ken Urker, proceeded to get pregnant while she was still married to Ryan. And for some odd reason, Ryan was under the impression that the baby was possibly his, which really makes me wonder what was the time gap in between her being with Ryan and her being with Ken physically. Now, I've went and pulled some clips to kind of remind you guys what it was like when they were trying to determine paternity of baby A. Was Ryan her daddy or was it Ken? And who was going to get custody in the state of Louisiana? This prompts Gypsy to hire an attorney, and allegedly she cut off contact with Ryan, but I will never believe that Gypsy ever fully cuts off contact with any of her exes. They have to be the ones to do it.
And Ken has to file to establish paternity.
I have to disagree. I would say that Gypsy is the one who's shown her true colors, and she continues to show those true colors time and time again. Especially recently when she informs us that the re-release of her book is going to include a new prologue where Gypsy will talk about things such as fame, infamy, and Nicholas Godejohn. Because Gypsy doesn't seem to care that her infamy affects people, the people that she is influencing, people that are under the impression that it's okay to murder your parents and then go to prison for 8 years, get out and become infamous. It's a real thing. I'm not over exaggerating this. There are impressionable minds out there that think this, which is exactly why I make these videos that you guys say I'm obsessed with her. I am. I'm obsessed with getting her off social media. I don't know why she still has a second TikTok account, but we need to get back. He has drug it out when it comes to Gypsy. Now, on this episode of the show, you can see that Christy and Ken and the rest of the family are concerned with the paternity and custody of the baby. And then it voiceovers Gypsy saying, I wonder how I would feel if Ken was talking to an ex. So that just shows you where her brain is always at and remains. At a hitch, or is it going to be a total train wreck?